Welcome back. This is John the 4-row farmer, and I am across the road from the field that we'll be farming in 2024. It is 155 acres of crop that we'll be planting. And I got a phone call the other day that kind of increased the anxiety level, that kind of made it seem a lot more real than just paper and Excel spreadsheets. Gould Brothers Farms, the operators that will be planting and harvesting for me, called me and said, hey, we're going to be putting corn in the ground here in the near future. I realize that I don't have the field 100% ready, so we've got to go over and start hustling, getting fences taken out in a few spots, making it so that we're not encroaching into the field at all. Instead, we can maximize the number of acres that are out there. Those guys, when they come with their planter, they can go straight down the fence lines and not have to make any swoop outs or anything like that. So, like I said, that's what we're going to be doing today, is covering all of that, trying to finish up some fence work along the northwest corner of the property. When you get that phone call, that will definitely raise the anxiety from never doing this before. So as we're getting ready to go over and finish up the prep work on the field, one thing that I found that has been invaluable for me, someone had recommended me getting a Piranha, BX expanded Piranha tooth bar, and that thing has definitely paid for itself multiple times over. And the amount that it changed this tractor from that flat cutting edge, not being able to really dig into the ground, it's still a very capable machine, but this tooth bar from BX Expanded definitely made this thing into a different tractor. Everything was like that. I think I'll probably wear out a dozen Kubotas before this tooth bar wears out, so I guess I'm not going to be able to get anything bigger than my 50-inch bucket that I have on this thing. I did notice last winter, when I was pushing snow and stuff, when I put the bucket down, my bucket must not be 100% from the factory flat, and so the little bit of arch that it had was wearing the corner of the bucket out right over here. Put this on, and like I said, this thing is heavy duty beyond heavy duty, and completely made this thing into a digging machine. I mean, I think I could dig a well with this if I had to. Probably won't, but I could if I wanted to. I ended up having factory bolt holes that I could put a factory cutting edge on. When I priced that cutting edge, I realized for a little bit more, I could get this BX expanded model, which would allow me to get two of them. I was able to get the Piranha tooth bar on one side, able to get a flat cutting edge on the other, so I can have the best of both worlds. They do make one that if you did not have the factory holes, that just kind of comes over the top and bolts into the side of the bucket. That's great, but since I had the holes, all I had to do was take the measurements, and I just sent that over to BX Expanded when I made the order, and they sent me exactly that. So I guess if the measurements were off, it was me not knowing how to run a tape measure, which has been something that's happened in the past. But I'm thankful everything fit, everything works great. Before, it seemed like either I was digging or I was floating, but now I can just nicely shave if I need to. I can do a lot of things with this that before was not an option for me. So yeah, like I said, that is this right here. Another option that I kind of put on this that probably didn't need to be on there, but they put the factory exhaust right down here, and I had this pipe, expanded pipe, and this this is actually a chain link fence pipe that I got from the local hardware store. Got this flex pipe off of Amazon, and on my 1025R, the exhaust pipe came down, and I did not like how it kept getting my bucket smoky, sooty, black. Rolling coal's nice, but I wanted it to be smoking in the air, not on my front of my bucket. So it ended up being, I put this system on when we got rid of the 1025 and got the LX 2610. I converted it to go on here. So what I do is I basically just use a hose clamp and hose clamped it to this front, this, I guess I'd call it a push guard in the front that came on it with the loader. I just hose clamp that to that. So now smoke goes up, not on the bucket. I don't get my arms down here all dirty with soot. And plus it just kind of looks cool having a smokestack. I'd like to put a bigger pipe on it at some point, but right now this does the job. It gets really close to the bucket, but it does just fine. It doesn't hit it. Even when you got a load of stuff on there, it doesn't end up hitting anything. But yeah, like I said, so the Piranha tooth bar, the smokestack, and we'll cover some other things on this in the future. Might boost the pressure on my lift capacity. I know there's kind of a mixed thing about whether you actually gain anything, if the juice is worth the squeeze. I'm going to try to see what mine's at, because it seems like I hit my relief valve pretty quick. So we're going to be covering, maybe putting a couple shims in there. Might be a placebo, might be just, you know, like adding washing your car, making it feel like it goes faster. Like I said, that may be what ends up happening, but we will give that a try. Come along. Like I said, we're going to finish up field prep. All right, so we're taking staples out of these posts. We got a little bit of fence here that is not in the best condition. It's right along the edge here, so I'm trying to get this all cleared up so that when the planter comes, they don't have to make any swing out. Instead, we should be able to just go all the way straight south. Once we get over this hill, I can get closer to the fence. And so we've made some corrections down there. This was an area down here that had some trees and whatnot. And so we're just gonna fill in some of these holes, do some tilling. But right now I'm pulling some staples on, as you can tell, a not really well attached post. Sorry if there's wind, it's kind of windy out here, hence Nebraska. So, but it's a beautiful day. It is like 60, I don't know, probably 65. I'm wearing coveralls just because I enjoy wearing coveralls. And so I'm sorry if there's an excessive amount of wind noise. But right now I am pulling these staples. And like I said, that'll allow me to kind of roll this hog wire up first. I've got 3 strands of barbed wire, which at one point this fence was in good shape. My dad used to have some cows and we'd run some cattle out here, and it ended up being, we just put some insulators on the inside. But this fence has been here as long as I know, as long as I've been alive, as I remember. So I don't know when it was put in, but it is served its purpose. And so now we are just making it so it's a little bit easier to farm. Seeing me fight on this one, my word. So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna get a good shot right here of my keister. Not the best video quality right here, but it would be better if I had an actual, instead of just using a plier like that, had an actual fencing plier. Probably have one back at the house, but you know, those things, they're handy to have, and people haven't had to use them for a while, but it ends up being that they can do with what I got here. So kind of like the whole thing here. Little tractor, little tiller, all that stuff. We're making do with what we got. So we are excited about 2024, the planting coming up. I got some Pioneer seed corn that I'm going to be planting. It's a 108-day variety. We'll talk about that in another video, kind of the whole decision making that goes into deciding what season of corn, days of maturity, things like that to plant. You think it'd just be like you go to Earl May or something like that, or your store and buy some seed, but there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into deciding on what you're going to use and everything else like that. So we got some drone stuff we're going to be doing. We are going to be doing aerial application of drones. So right now, going through all of the licensing requirements and everything else like that to be legal to fly from an FAA standpoint, a state of Nebraska standpoint, getting all the right exemptions, all the right licenses, all the right applicator license, everything like that. So excited for some of that stuff. It's going to be, I don't know, like I said, it's been quite a long process. We're still waiting to hear back on some of the exemptions and stuff like that. But those should be coming in the near future. Waiting actually for some information from the state of Nebraska so that I can get my applicator's license. I'm not doing any commercial work, just doing this 160 acres. Kind of nerve-wracking thinking that possibly within a week we'll be planting our first corn crop, making sure I've got all my I's dotted and T's crossed. I'm kind of an overthinker planner, kind of feeling like I'm like maybe didn't get all that planned. But you guys will get to experience all that with us this year and seeing all the ups and downs and sideways and ins and outs, and I don't know. Like I said, we're going to be pretty transparent on what we're doing. It's not going to be all Instagram ready type stuff that we're going to be trying to do. You'll see some of the successes and probably some of the failures, because we will probably have both. So, like I said, that's taking care of this fence right here. My boys went and got my leather gloves because I somehow thought it would be a good idea to not have my leather gloves with me, and I was going to be working with barbed wire. So I'm cutting this, and we are going to be folding this back. Hurts really bad when it jabs you in the finger. Yeah, when you're dealing with barbed wire and not having leather gloves, you kind of got to handle it like you're holding a basket of eggs, because you grab one of those barbs and it will let you know that it is there. So what we're going to do is pull this out. Probably better to use the tractor on some of this, actually. Let me see what else we got. We got a little chunk, I think, of hog wire going to be buried right here. I might pull all of this up. Yeah, we got hog wire right here, and I might just use the tractor to see if I can pull all of that up. I am cutting this wire loose here. I got to get this these staples out onto this hog wire, sheep wire, whatever you want to call it. A lot of fence around here in northeast Nebraska a long time ago had 3 barb, and then I call it almost hog wire type of a thing. But I will tell you, once it's kind of gets down in the dirt, it kind of gets to be a pain. So we're going to try to pull some of this up with the tractor. So yeah, you guys almost saw me dump the Kubota right over. I was at a cattywampus angle and started putting some force behind the old cylinders, and yeah, we almost bit the old Dusty on that one. So be careful out here, guys. I'm gonna leave this post in because, well, it didn't want to come out. So all right, guys, so cover a little thing on the Kubota. So the Kubota is a great tractor. I had a 1025R before we had the Kubota, before we had this LX 2610. My wife didn't like, or Mrs. Forrow didn't like having mowing out in the conditions, so we started looking around. Came across this LX 2610, and this cab on this thing is amazing. Like, I love it. It's not an afterthought. The ones that seem like to go on the 1025s were kind of an aftermarket afterthought. And with these, it seemed like it was just integrated into the machine. Loved that aspect of it. The only thing I run into is it's a little small, it's a little narrow. As you saw earlier, it almost upset the old apple cart. A little bit scary on that standpoint. I'm gonna cut some wire out over here that got wrapped up in it. So this is where I guess the side cutter does kind of come into play versus that wire nipper. It does make it kind of nice to be able to get in here, but the problem is it got caught all around these things. And so it's a pain in the caboose to figure this thing out. But and it just gets wrapped so tight in here, but we will get it. We will get it. It will not overtake us. We will get this. We will divide and conquer. Like I said, we're just gonna have to start pulling this out piece by piece. So I got this tiller back when I had my 1025 to till the garden with, and I probably put more hours on it this year, just getting this field ready, than I did the whole time before. Like I said, we're just gonna cut our way through here, this little maze we got. You know what, you guys should probably take a look at this so you can see the fun we're having. Come on, come on, come on, don't be shy. Man, this thing is not shy. Man, wow, it caught me. You're seeing me struggling right now because it wrapped around my shoelace. Got it. Take a look at that. That is a gnarly little mess that we got going on. So I need to cut all of that out, and otherwise it's just going to start getting into that bearing and whatnot, and yeah, I don't need to have any of that stuff. So making progress. That's not progress. By the way, don't do what I'm doing. You probably should have like jack stands under here, but this is a classic field repair. So we're just making it work. . I got a pry bar in the tractor. I'm going to grab that and see if that helps us at all. I don't have the adjustable top link like Tractor Time with Tim and some of those other guys, so this is what I use to adjust my top link. Probably make it a lot easier if I did invest in that, but then I'd have to add some auxiliary hydraulics and whatnot. I did add the third function, which was from Summit Hydraulics. Great little setup, but like I said, I haven't run any hydraulics to the back, so the next one I probably would have hydraulics done on it. But so yeah, what you look at is this is going to get done, and just like I told you, it's all done. It only took me about 20 minutes worth of struggle bussing down here. As you can tell, right here is what we ended up getting off of it. It was a combined effort. It was the pry bar, it was the side cutters, it was the fence pliers. Kind of like with our powers combined, we ended up getting it done. I'm gonna roll. Sorry you guys are seeing the southbound end of a northbound horse right now, but we're gonna go ahead and turn around and kind of just roll this up. So like I said, this can all get prepared to kind of just got rid of. Whap me in the head right there. That's always kind of a fun adventure when that happens. We're gonna wrap this up. It's like wrestling a baby gorilla right there. And we're gonna set this here. This over here. Kind of like I'm making a recipe right here, guys. A little bit of this, a little crush down here, a little bit here. And now, that's that. I was in some school plays back in the day. You never to turn your back to the camera, which I kind of did right there, so sorry about that. Let's go ahead and grab this snarled mess of tetanus shot. Throw this in the back here. Try to see how many scratches I can put on the side. Whoops, snagged. That's always fun and pleasant. Luckily I'm up on all my shots, so I'm not too worried about getting poked by one of these, but not something I necessarily want to test if I don't have to. So far we're steering clear of pokes, any jabs. That's why I'm trying to do safety first. That's why I'm laying underneath, was earlier laying underneath a unsupported tiller. So safety first at the 4-row farmer. Gonna get these posts in here. Wow, this is gonna be a little bit of a you hear that? That's probably close to 6,000 pounds, and picked that up like it was nothing. So I don't know if that means anything, but pretty impressed with that. These posts are probably 300 to 400 pounds each, and I'm just throwing them around like nothing. On the internet, you can do whatever. You can make it seem like whatever. This separates the men from the boys right here. Throwing them around like kids play. So. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Good girl.